always been a creative person. Since I was little, I was always like the theater kid, playing pretend, doing arts and crafts, like really just trying everything. And as an adult, that's translated into my life and my career. I'm so lucky that I'm fully self-employed now, and I have been for a little while. I edit YouTube videos, if you guys are new, and then I obviously have this YouTube channel as well. And because of the flexibility of my job, I've had a lot of time to explore passions, explore hobbies, different interests, and see what sticks. But the thing about me is that I'm an idea creative. Struggling to come up with ideas is a foreign concept to me. I constantly have new ideas. Where I struggle is the follow through and sticking with something. Throughout my life, I have genuinely tried so many different career paths, hobbies, and every time I get to this certain point where I just like stop being interested in it and I no longer want to do that thing. I recently have come up with an idea for a fantasy book. When I came up with the idea, I instantly felt this like pang of guilt and shame because I was like, well, I'm never actually gonna write this thing. Like, let's be so real. I just know myself. And I think part of the reason why I'm so passionate about writing this goddamn book is so that I can prove to myself that I can actually do hard things. So this vlog is going to be really focused on my writing journey and me trying to write this book. I'm currently on draft 1. I am 18,000 words in, I think, which even just the fact that that's the word count, 18,786 words that I have written. The fact that that's the word count is genuinely insane to me. I could not have anticipated that I would have even done this for this long. And now that I've gotten here 20% through the book, I'm like, well, I have to see this through. That's what this journey is for me. Writing this book is genuinely for me to prove to myself that I can do this, and also that maybe I'm good at this. Maybe I'm not, but like, what if I am? So let's talk about the book a little bit, because I do want to give you a little synopsis, even though I've never been able to summarize anything in my life. But basically, it's a fantasy book, but it centers around a girl called Odessa, and I was gonna summarize and then I realized I have a sentence summary written down. Let me read it to you. In a world divided by the elements, fire, air, and water, one young woman must uncover the truth and defy a rising darkness. That is kind of vague, but my main character's name is Odessa. She's from the water realm, and she is very stuck up and prissy and just like really spoiled, to put it bluntly. And she ends up having to go on this journey really outside of her comfort zone, leaving behind the only world she's ever known, the only city she's ever been in. And she has to go on a journey. She meets new people. She expands her horizons and really uncovers what it means to step into your power, I would say. And I love her. She's like so iconic. I'm actually obsessed with her. So anyway, like I mentioned, I'm 18,000 words through draft 1, which is the rough draft. If you guys have no idea about books and like how they're written, neither did I. I'm genuinely have no experience aside from like a few poems I wrote in high school and some fan fiction. I did do that. But basically draft 1 is like the vomit draft. You just get words on paper. You're not meant to worry about how it all sounds. You just like, it's like you telling yourself the story. And then draft 2 is the first round of revisions where you kind of make a bit more sense. And then draft 3 is a bit more like on the line editing, so like making sure that the words sound good. This is my understanding, okay? I'm literally not an author, but what I'm struggling with right now, and I think this is probably not just a me thing, this is probably an everyone thing, I would assume, is I really am self-editing. Like I said, it's meant to be a vomit draft. It's not meant to be perfect, but I definitely am finding that I'm getting caught up on certain lines, certain words, like really wanting it to sound good. I think mainly because I want to affirm to myself that like I actually can write, because like I said, I'm so new to this. So that's like a problem I'm having, but I'm not sure it's really a problem because I'm actually still writing. Like, let's have a look. My average words per day for the last 2 weeks has been over 1,000. I'm writing every single day. I haven't broken the streak. I started this book on the 25th of January. It's now, at the time of filming this, the 12th of February, and I'm already on 18,000 words. That progress is pretty insane. My goal is to finish the first draft by the end of May. Obviously, I'm not like focusing too much on word count it's just like fun to track, but I'm trying to very much focus on the story and make sure that things are making sense. The way I've done this is I have written an outline. When I say an outline, I mean I know what I want to happen in the beginning of the book, like the inciting incident, if you will, the big thing that kicks off her journey. I know what I want roughly the midpoint to be, and then I know the ending of this book. Unfortunately for me, it is a duology. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm like mainly sorry to myself because it means I need to write another book, but I know the main thing that is going to happen at the end of the book that's like one of the big reveals, which, oh my God, I'm so excited. I really fear I popped off with this ending, but that's like all I really know. The rest of it, I'm genuinely winging as I go. And it's actually crazy. I hear writers talk about like, let the characters like speak through you. And I was like, really? No, it's true. It's actually so true. Sometimes I'm writing and I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Like I just invented a character, gave them an entire personality, and didn't even like plan it. That's crazy. Anyway, wow, I have rambled, but today, this afternoon, it's literally 2 p.m. I'm just gonna sit here and work on the book, obviously. This is how I've been spending my time. I'll like try bash out my work in the mornings and then have the afternoons to write. I haven't posted a YouTube video in 3 weeks, so this really has taken over my life, but I'm trying to just like enjoy it because I really am loving it, and I think you need to go where inspiration calls sometimes. Right now I'm working on the first chapter when the love interest and my main character speak to each other, and they're not like physically speaking to each other, they're doing it through almost like a letter, which if you guys know my reading taste, you know that that is my favorite thing. When the characters communicate separately and the tension builds before they've even met each other, that's what I'm building. Like very much Divine Rivals or like Book Lovers. If you guys have read those books, you'll know the kind of tension that I mean, where they're like speaking separately. Anyway, so right now I'm writing those letters and I am having a great time writing from like the love interest tone of voice. I love this man. Something I've been loving while I write to like keep me productive and accountable is watching writing live streams. So this is like a thing on AuthorTube, I guess, where these AuthorTubers will host live streams and basically they'll do like 10 minutes of chatting and then you do like a work block all together. It's really cute. And because I don't have any writing friends here in Melbourne, all my writing friends are like digital, like they're real friends, but they live far away. I have been doing this and loving it. So I'm gonna put on a writing live stream. I am so unbelievably loyal to Brielle. I'll link her channel below. I'm literally obsessed with her, so much so that I DM'd her. I was like, hey, listen, I love you. So I'm gonna put on one of her live streams and get to work.
Hi everyone. Hi guys.
It's been an hour and a half exactly. I've done 2 25-minute sprints on this live stream and I am on 19,000, wait, I've lost my word count. Wait, hold on. 19,853 words. So I think I've written just over 1,000. That means that I'm 150 words away from 20,000 words. That was my big word goal for February. And it's February 12th. I fear I am going in hard on this book. But the thing is, like, it's not feeling like work. It's feeling fun and exciting. And so I'm just like embracing it because I know that I'm not going to feel like this forever. But also like the scene that I've just written was so fun. Like I told you guys, I was writing the letter exchange and like, because I get to control it because this is my book, everything that I love in romance is happening in this book. Like mega slow burn, like the slowest of slow burn. Their banter and stuff is just like so so yummy. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like Moorish and exciting, and I don't know, I'm just like loving it. Like I really am having so much fun. I am also able to control like the level of hatred between these two characters, because right now, well, actually I can't say that because I'll spoil it, but basically what I hate so much in a lot of romantasy books or enemies to lovers romance is I feel like the guy's kind of mean. But this guy's not mean, he's just like a little bit cocky. But what we're seeing now with both of these characters at the start of the book changes so drastically towards the end of the book. So I'm like setting all of that up. It's just so much fun. But anyway, she is about to arrive in the first city. So this is like a journey book, I think is what people call it. She has to go on this journey across like a bunch of different realms, and she's entering the fire realm. And she's really scared of the fire realm. And so I'm like super, super excited to write this part of the book. And literally like what I'm about to write, the last 150 words until I hit 20K, is she's literally like about to meet her first ever fire person. And I'm so excited because it's going to be really, really emotionally complicated for her. But obviously also I'm not going to stop at 20,000 words if I'm having fun. Like it's only 3:51 on a Wednesday. So like why would I stop if I'm having a good time? My goal, which I haven't said yet, is I want to try and have this manuscript be around 100,000 words. Given like where I'm at in the story right now, I don't think I'm going to struggle to get there, because I'm like, there is so much more that I have to do, like so much more that this character has to do. So I think maybe I'm a bit of an overwriter. I'm not sure. We're figuring it out as we go. But 20,000 words is theoretically 20% of the way through the book, which is crazy because I've written that in 18 days. So that's wild. Also, if you're an aspiring writer, don't compare yourself to these numbers, because A, I will not be at this pace the whole time, and B, I have a very free, like I have a lot of free time. I'm not confined to a 9-to-5 job. But anyway, I'm like in it. Like I'm really, really in it. That live stream was really helpful, but it's over now. So I'm just gonna put on some music. I like to listen to classical music while I write. And I'm going to try and get through more of this book. Hi friends, it's been a few days since I last checked in. I did in fact hit the 20,000 words, which felt so good. It felt like such a big milestone, because that's ideally a fifth of the way through the book. I'm just trying to celebrate every single milestone as they come, because it is such slow progress writing an entire book. And so I'm just like really trying to celebrate every single win that I have. Like I said, it's been a few days, so I've been slowly chugging along, and I'm actually at 24,308 words. So we're gonna hit 25K together as well, which is another huge milestone. I actually just finished up work for the day. It's 1:55 p.m. It was a very easy work day. For me right now, writing is like a sacred hobby. I'm loving every second I'm spending on it, and I'm really excited to jump back into this book today. The part of the book that I'm currently writing is still similar to, I think, what I would have told you guys last time. But basically, our main character, Odessa, is currently in the fire realm, and she's having her first kind of moment of realization that like perhaps the world is not what she thought it was. And it's a really cool moment, or I guess it's not really one moment, it's like lots of little moments. She's kind of seeing things and hearing things and witnessing things, and she always assumes the worst, but it turns out that like maybe that's not a good thing. And it's kind of the first time that we see her character growth, because, you know, the Odessa at the start of the book would have literally just never even gone on this journey in the first place. She's very sheltered, she's very comfortable, just like living her little life and not being brave and not achieving any crazy things. And now she's slowly changing, and so I'm really trying to get the balance, like the emotional growth there. Like I want it to be her kind of questioning and being curious and stuff, but I don't want it to be like spoon-fed to the reader. So definitely just working on that. It's literally like the next probably 10,000 or so words will be in the fire realm. So there's a lot for her to kind of still see and still discover. But like I was just talking about not putting pressure on stuff, I'm also not putting pressure on the first draft. So like if, you know, things feel like they are being spoon-fed to the reader and stuff, like that's completely fine. But I like to go in with like at least an idea of what I want to do.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
Okay, I just finished the 30-minute sprint. The creators are just like having a little chat now. That was really good. My word count was around 500, which I feel like normally I write a little bit more, but I was really trying to nail down this scene because I've realized that like the romance needs to build slowly throughout the entire book. I just really wanted to get this part down pat because not only can we start to build the yearning, I don't really like a super like on the page romance like spice or like too much. I really just love an emotional build. So not only is it good for that, but also it's great to break up Odessa's like thoughts because this book is just written from her perspective. So we kind of get to see more of the love interest in this, but also we get to see her in a different light because we're not really in her brain. If that makes sense, they're like communicating with each other. And also it's a great time to like drip feed some world building and like you see how Odessa views the world versus how her love interest views the world and how those two things are very, very different. This book is everything I would personally want to read. I'm such a reader, but like no book is, I don't think any book is exactly my taste. Like the right kind of mix of like fantasy, romance, banter, depth, but like silly, fun, light parts as well, friendship. Like I'm really big on friendship in my personal life and I feel like books don't often explore that as deeply as I would like, and this book just has everything that I would want. I'm not saying it's perfect, it's also literally draft 1 and I haven't reread anything I've written, so it might suck, but as I'm writing it, it's feeling really good. And sorry if you can hear that dog barking, it's actually going crazy. Yeah, I'm just feeling really good about what I'm writing and I'm having fun, and that truly is the main thing. To finish off this video, I wanted to answer a couple of questions that you guys have asked me over on Instagram because I did share in just like a little story that part of the reason I've been gone from YouTube for so long is because I've been working on this book. So the first question is, how did you come up with an idea? And I wish I could give tips. I wish it came to me in some like, I don't know, I was on a walk and I like was thinking about the world and then I noticed the sky and like it was nothing like that. It literally just hit me like a ton of bricks. That's honestly how all of my ideas have come to me, like from YouTube videos to the podcast that I now have. Like any creative project genuinely has just appeared. I remember I was just like sitting in the living room one afternoon and it literally just like came to me, like the entire book, including like what happens at the end, the whole magic system, and obviously once like the idea was kind of an umbrella, and then I've slowly like filled in the gaps underneath and like filled it out and changed certain aspects, but well and truly most of that did come to me that afternoon, which is nuts. I just like brain dumped everything down and now I'm writing it. The next question is, how do you find your voice and writing style? I'm like so not the right person to ask this, but I'll kind of just talk about my experience. Even though I say I'm not a writer, I've always written, just not fiction. I was like a copywriter for a while. I studied journalism. So like I've always had a tone of voice, and I feel like when I'm writing, even in like texts or emails, I have a really strong personal tone of voice. So I feel like I've just carried that over to the book. It's not going to make much sense until you like read from this character's perspective, but I think what I'm trying to do at least is not be too flowery with my language, but be descriptive enough to where like some of the sentences sound beautiful and you can visualize the world. But when I'm reading, I don't really love like too flowery of language or anything that's like crazily descriptive. I guess I'm really just trying to replicate what I like when I'm reading, and I'm really trying to keep a sense of humor. That's like a big part of this book that I want, because fantasy is for the most part like pretty intense and it can be quite heavy and very world buildy, and parts of it can feel like you're out of your depth as a reader, and it can be quite intense and almost like hurt your brain a little bit. And I'm really trying to, through the main character, because she's just so fun and silly, I'm really trying to have this sense of humor and keep things light, even though things will get heavy. Like I want her to maintain this almost like, it's like accidental comedic relief through her. Anyway, that's like long-winded. In terms of how I found my voice and writing style, I think it's just something that comes with practice. I don't think I'm there yet, even just from the beginning of the book till now. When I reread it eventually, like as a whole, I have no doubt that I'm gonna like read the start and be like, whoa, that's so different to where I am now. And as I'm writing, I'm feeling that too. But I think it's just practice. The next question is, how do you decide which parts are good enough? This is probably not something I can answer in terms of like draft one, because I haven't when I say I haven't reread, I want to clarify this, because at the beginning of this video, I was telling you guys something I was struggling with was like editing as I go. What I mean when I say I haven't reread is like once a chapter's done, like I move on, I let myself read like the last paragraph just to get my bearings, but I haven't read this book through as a whole at all. So in terms of like deciding which parts are good enough, I don't know. I think that's going to come very much with revision. My mindset for draft one is everything goes in the book and I can cut later. I think it's easier to trim off fat than to add. At least like that's the way that I've approached like editing videos and stuff like that. Even when I'm doing a rough cut of a video, I'll always keep in a little extra than I think I need and then go back and like fine tune. And I'm kind of applying that same mindset to this book. There are a lot of parallels that you can draw with basically all creative hobbies and jobs that I've had. My biggest like thing that I'm trying to remember, my biggest piece of advice is writing shit stuff is still better than not writing. And I think I'm the kind of person where if I get too in my head and I think like, oh, this isn't good, I'm not a good writer, I'll just like won't do it. So what I'm trying to say is, even if the 200 words that I write that day is a pile of shit, like it's so bad, it's literally like, Harriet put this here, he went here, she said this, it's better than not writing anything, because you can revise a pile of shit, you can't revise nothing. And that's my mindset with this first draft. So it's going to be a joy to reread, because some parts are like nailed it, descriptive, funny, good dialogue, and then other parts are like, wow, you really gave me the bare minimum, babe, the bar is in hell. But at least there's a bar. If you guys have any creative ventures that you want to start, my biggest advice always when people ask me about YouTube channels, podcasts, books, whatever it is, literally the hardest part is starting. It's like, you can talk about doing it as much as you want, you can dream about doing it, you can tell everybody all of your amazing ideas, but you have to do it. Like, nobody is going to write the book for you or start the YouTube channel for you. And the biggest thing that will hold you back is either fear or self-doubt. And so I just think the best thing that you can do is do it, even if it's shit. Do it scared, do it shit, and like see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was very different for me, but honestly, I had such a great time making it because it's something that I'm just so passionate about right now. So if you did like it, please let me know in the comments. I definitely will keep you guys updated on this book, and if like a monthly writing vlog or something like that is something that you guys do want, I would love to do that for you as well. I will see you guys next week with a different video. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Bye.